Hello everybody, my name is Ruben Cabrera and today I will be doing a movie review from the movie Bedtime Stories. The star in this movie is Adam Sandler. So what did I think of the movie? This movie is a movie that I recommend you to watch. This movie it has humor, it is funny. It's a movie about storytelling. So if you like stories, you're going to like this movie. What is the movie about? The movie is about a father who owned a hotel and has two children. The father has to sell the hotel, however, because he realizes that he is not a good businessman. He is not able to manage the hotel well, but he is a good storyteller. Every night he would tell stories to his children. And that will come later along as I explain to you what the movie is about. Boom. So he decides to sell the hotel to somebody who's able to manage the hotel better. And the new manager tells him that if his son grows up to be an intelligent person, somebody who is able to manage the hotel well, he will allow him to manage the hotel. And the father of Skeeter, Adam Sandler, decides to sell him the hotel if he promises to complete that. If he promises what he said. So he decides to sell him the hotel. And as Skeeter grows up, Adam Sandler, the manager who bought the hotel doesn't see him as somebody who is able to manage the hotel yet. He becomes a maintenance person, somebody who fix broken stuff like light bulbs, TVs, somebody who cleans the hotel. But Adam Sandler's life changes. Skeeter's life changes when he starts sharing stories to his nephews for bedtime. When he starts sharing bedtime stories to his nephews to go to sleep. And he realizes that the bedtime stories he's telling his nephews become real. Because the day after, everything that happens, or right after the stories, everything that happened in the stories come true. How? Because the stories that he tells his nephews are about him. He just turns them into stories. But he soon realizes that the only thing that becomes realistic is what they say. For example, if Adam Sandler says that he is going to get $100 million, it doesn't happen. But if his nephews say it, it will happen. If they say a horse is gonna kick him in the leg, that horse will kick him. So he realizes this and he uses it to his advantage. And he uses it to give himself an opportunity to manage the hotel. And he eventually does manages it, but he ends up being fired. And then he also becomes, I'm not gonna tell you why, I'm gonna let you watch the movie. But he ends up being fired, he ends up getting fired. But he comes to realize that I forgot to tell you guys, but he wants to manage this hotel, but the hotel they now live in is now they are going to build a new one, and that is the one they want to manage. He wants to manage the new hotel they're building, and he comes to realize that the hotel they are building, they're making it bigger, and it is going to destroy the school that his nephews are attending. So he is not aware of that, and he decides to fix that problem. And eventually he does, and eventually he becomes the manager of the hotel. And everybody lives happily ever after. That is what the story is about. But this movie has many little stories. It has many funny scenes. And one of the things I learned of watching this movie is that when you think you're at the end of your life, or you're in a situation where it's the end of your situation, where you feel like it is the end of your situation, it is like a story. Whenever, and that's what he realizes. Before he is able to save the school, before he is able to save the school from being destroyed by the new building, he becomes disappointed, he becomes sad, he gives up, and then his father tells him that, what are you doing? This is not the end. And Skeeter thinks that it is the end, but his father tells him, this is not the end. What did I tell you at the end? What did you learn from my stories that I always shared with you at night? Every time something bad happens, when everything becomes sad, when everything feels like you lost hope, when everything feels like it's not going the way you planned, the hero does something unexpected and courageously, and he ends up winning. He ends up solving the problem, and he ends up taking the girl home. Which in this movie, he wins the girl. He wins the girl. And so he decides to get up and act unexpectedly, just do unexpected things, and he decides to be courageous by taking action. And eventually that is how he manages to win. He manages to prevent the school from being destroyed. And I feel like this is a message that they are sharing to the viewers, that whenever we feel like it is the end of something, whenever we feel sad, whenever we feel like we have no hope, or we are lost or confused, it is part of the story that we are living in. Eventually this will pass. Eventually we will come to a better place. Eventually we will do something. But if you act courageously, if you decide to take action, if you decide to resolve the situation you're in, that is how the story goes. It is not if you just sit there and not do nothing about the situation you're in. The dad specifically tells them, the hero takes courageously unexpected actions to win, to succeed. That is what the hero does. So the lesson that I learned, and I believe the message that they're sharing with us, is that every time we're going to have ups and downs, but we can change those things. We can make things happen by acting courageously, by doing things that we normally wouldn't do, by doing big things. So this is what I learned from watching this movie. I think it's a really cool movie. And I really enjoy watching Adam Sandler's movies. I always feel like he always shares messages with the viewers, and he also makes it funny. There's a lot of funny scenes in this movie that if you haven't watched the movie, I recommend you to watch it. It is good for the family. It is PG, so you know that it's not rated R or none of that stuff. So this is what I thought. If you would like to share these messages with your family, I recommend you to watch this movie. Thank you.